it's like we never met. Forever leaves fast in the middle of the night. Forever breaks my heart and never says goodbye. Days and nights, skin and bone, I'm still here, but you moved on. I live inside an old photograph. I wish that I could feel your love again. So I live inside that old photograph. And I wish that I could feel your love again. Forever falls in love with the guy that wears sweater vests. She used to be mine, but now it's like we never met. Forever leaves fast in the middle of the night. Forever breaks my heart and never says goodbye.
Hello, hello, hello. This is the Outer Ayrshire Broadcasting Service calling civilization. And how are we tonight? Are we receiving us loud and clear? I think we are. I hope so. We should be. Right, okay. Hi. Before I start tonight's show, it's a show. It is a show. It's a Sunday show. It's just a Sunday blether. That's all it is. But before I start tonight, and I've got a wee bit of a rant, as you might have seen from the thumbnail and the title, I'm not too happy about a few things, and I'll get into it. But let me tell you, tonight is going to be probably a shorter show than normal, maybe about the same length as last week. I'll be finishing up a wee bit early. I don't know how early. It just depends how I get through things. But I'll probably be finishing before 8 o'clock because I've got a heavy workload at work starting tomorrow, and I've still got quite a bit of preparation to do for it. So I need to get to that as soon as I can. However, got a few things I want to say tonight, so we'll be here for a wee while, okay? I haven't even checked if I'm coming through loud and clear. How confident am I becoming that I'm loud and clear? I just glanced down to check that I hadn't muted my mic again. Is my mic muted? No, I should be getting heard loud and clear. Okay, right, before we get started, I've got a couple of things I want to ask you, but I'll say a few hellos, right? So straight away, now, we've got a wee orange, I can't show you, but I've got a wee orange thing that says Windswept Robert. It's just bing, came straight out to me. Because if you want me to notice your comment, before you type your comment, type at Windswept Robert, and it'll bing, it'll light up in orange for me. Like Drone Me Up just did. Have a great show tonight, catching up after work. Fair enough, thank you. Right, there's another one there. J. Richards said loud and clear. So you were hearing me loud and clear. At least you saw my chat loud and clear. I'm assuming you can hear me, but we'll soon see anyway. Okay, any more orange ones? There's Mark. Yes, don't jinx it. Things seem to be going all right. I made a few tweaks during the week in the hope that it would sort out the jittering problem. But there's no way I can tell, because even if I test it during the week, that doesn't necessarily mean that on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock, everything will be fine. What tends to happen around about 7 o'clock on a Sunday night here is, for some reason, a lot of people from this area go, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I'm very limited with the bandwidth that I have anyway. But I think a lot of people from round about this area just log on at 7 o'clock. I don't know if it's the missus starts to watch EastEnders catch up or something, I don't know, and the men log on. So that can sometimes cause jitters. But I put in a couple of wee tweaks that I was hoping would help that. And it seems to have helped it so far. And yeah, you're right, Mark. I won't jinx it. I probably have done already. Okay. So we have... Right there. Jay. Another one. Yeah. You can. Oh, that skipped past the one that I was going to. It was just saying that you like the track Sweater Vest by Logan Pilcher. Yeah, a lot of people comment on that. A lot of people really like that intro. And I sometimes change the intro every few months. But I'm keeping this one for a wee while because a lot of people have commented that they really do like it. So I'll keep it for a wee while longer. Okay, right. There's Scott. He hasn't put in that Windswept Robert, but I saw it anyway. Hello from Texas. Scott, I've been following your fantastic recipes and all your the pictures of the food that you're barbecuing and cooking up, and my mouth waters all the time. I'd love to try some of your recipes out, and if I ever get the time, I will do. I'll be retired in 6 years, so in 6 years I might have time to cook one of your recipes. Okay. Right, let's get to well, we've got a few more orange Windswept Roberts for Graham. Graham says, hi Windswept Robert, me and everyone, hope you're all well. Tick that like button. Oh, good point, yeah, wee thumbs up to the like button. I've got 73 likes. Oh no, that's in a different video. A video that I'm going to be asking you a question about in just a minute or two. So Leslie Sangster says, good evening, sir. Good evening to you, Leslie. And Scott did put the wee orange thing up this time. Okay, Dogzilla Monster's got an orange at Windswept Robert up. Any opinions about the plan in Ireland to switch which side of the road you drive your car on? Oh, I didn't know they were doing that, but funnily you should mention it. In my Facebook feed, I've been seeing a lot of pictures of, what country was it? I can't remember what country it was, but I think it was a European country that switched from driving on the right to driving on the left, maybe in the 60s, possibly early 70s, and on the first day there was a lot of faux pas, if we should call it that. So I didn't know Ireland were doing that. That's interesting. I'll have a look into that and see what I think. I can't tell you what I think just now because I'm only just finding out. Right. So Teesside Drones says, hello fella, is the weather up there as pants as the other side of the border? Actually, it was pants this morning and the early afternoon. But as the afternoon progressed into the evening, it's cleared up and it's really, really lovely out there, which is good because I've got a lot of stuff to move down into my car in preparation for all of the summer programmes that I'll be doing starting from Monday. So I'm glad that the rain's off and it's nice because I'll be moving stuff for about an hour, and that's why I'll probably be finishing up a wee bit early tonight. Okay, Scott, you would love to cook. I'd love to cook with you. Just send me the tickets for the airplane flight to Texas, and I'll be there, and I'll bring my pink Himalayan salt with me. Right, Paul Taylor said, did you find anything on your Insta360 camera lens? Oh, you mean like wee bugs or flies or things like that? As I've been driving along. No, actually, where is my Insta? Is it kicking about? No, I don't know where it is off the top of my head. There it is there. What an idiot. Here, I might as well show you this is how I mount it. Well, I haven't been mounting it yet, but this is the device that I use. These are two magnets. Very, very strong magnets. And this selfie stick here, I haven't used the selfie stick. I just put it on to try it and see if it would work. What I did is the 360, I screwed that straight onto here, right? And mounted that on top of the car, okay? And the magnets held it onto the roof. But I've now added this wee selfie stick to raise it up a little bit, so it should be much better. That's the wee mic. The external mic mount. This is the wee lens cover here that I really like, so I'll take that off just now. And all the driving I've been doing, the lenses are fantastic. They don't, there's no damage suffered to them at all. I think because they're convex, any little bugs of that will just skate off them. They won't actually hit it, and it's not. They might hit the screen. Well, the screen's at the back actually. I keep the screen at the back, so there's nothing will hit the screen. So they would hit this lens here. It looks fairly clean to me, but they probably just skite. That's the Scottish word. I don't know what another word is for it. Skite off. What would you say? what would the anglified word of skite be if it skites off to the side? I don't know. It's an English word. I don't know what the English word is. English is not my first language, but I'm doing quite well with it. So that's the Insta360, and that's how I mount it to the car. Now you'll see here there's this here, because just as a sort of belt and braces, I don't just sit it there. This goes through into the window, through the window of the car, and I tie that onto the sort of handle that's just inside the car. So in the event that it did come off for some reason, if I hit a low branch and it did kind of knock it off, at least the camera wouldn't fly off onto the road. It would just be dangling there, and I could pull over and retrieve it without damaging it too much. So that's the 360 setup there. And now that who was it that mentioned that? That was Paul. Thanks for bringing the subject of the 360 up, because there's a question I'd like to ask all of you. If you have been watching my recent videos, and you'll know that I've been using the 360 on top of the car. When it comes to editing, there's 3 different ways you can edit, right? And I have only tried 2 of them so far. I haven't tried the third method, but out of the 2 different methods, I'm going to show you just a 10, 15, maybe 20-second clip of each of the 2 different methods I've used. I'm not going to show you the method, I'm going to show you the video, the end result. So have a look at these 2 videos, and then if you prefer the look of the first one, type in a 1. If you prefer the look of the second one, type in a 2. So I'll play the first one now. Let me switch over to my screen, and I'll go full screen on this. Right, so this is number 1. So have a look at this. I don't know if you'll hear anything playing. You might hear a little bit. Right, never mind that idiot talking. It's oh right. Let's wind it on there. I didn't want you to see that. I want you to see the actual video itself. Oh, here we go. He's talking again. Right, so it's the video I want you to look at here. Okay, so look at the video of the Insta360. Right. So that's the editing using one method, and I want to now show you the other method, right? So that's one there, and this is the other one, right? So have a look at this now. I'll go full size too. Right, so you can probably spot the difference, I would imagine. Right, so if you wouldn't mind, if you prefer the first one that I played, just the look of it, type a 1, and if you prefer the look of this one, not the content, it's just the actual look, the dimensions and the shape and everything of the video, put a 2 in if you like this one, please. And I'll come back and maybe ask a few questions. Right, so that's the second. Let me fly back to the first one again just to show you. So that was the second one. Here's the first one again. Is that? Oh, that's the. Here's the first. Hey, they both look the same. That's that. All right, hold on a minute. Right, so there we go. There's a second one, right? And here's the first one. Right, there's the first one. Okay, right, so most people are saying 2, okay? So that would be, not this one, this is the first one, so most people prefer this one here. Okay, actually, I'm glad you said that. Right, let me come back to my face. Right, I think almost everyone, so Caroline had a 2, Dave 2, Tura 2, Crime TV 2, Graham 2, Nick Cooper 2. I don't need to go through this, you all know. Stuck said 3, that's Planet X. Thanks very much, Stuck, for that. Right, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Everybody's going for 2. Ben picked 1. Right, so Ben picked 1. So did Leslie. So did Derek. And Peter did as well. Right, You can't tell the difference, Mickey? Aye, of course you can. Right, look, I'll show you. I'll show you again for a second. Right, here's just a. I'll pause it. I won't play it. Right. So there's number 2. Okay. So that's number 2. Here's number 1. I'll tell you the difference. The difference is that number 2 is in the 235 format, like the cinema format. It's much, much wider. And this one is in your 16 by 9 format, right? So you don't see as much on this one, okay? That's the only difference, right? 235 and 16 by 9, that's the difference there. Okay, right. I'm glad most of you actually said 2, because 2 is the easier one to edit with. 2 is using the Insta360's own built-in editor that comes with it on your computer. The other one, the one that I did for the visit today, or the seals, the video I published today, I did in Final Cut Pro, which is you can't produce the 235, or maybe you can, I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad you all said the second one, because that's actually easier to edit it. Now, the third way to edit is to just use your phone. There's an editor, an app, an Insta360 app on your phone that you can use to edit, and I haven't tried that yet, and I don't know if I will, because I like to do my editing on here. It's much easier for me, but I will try it out, and we can see how that goes. Right, but anyway, I'll say that 16 by 9 is better for stills. Yeah, probably right, yeah. Aye, no, probably, you're definitely right. Better for stills, but if they're both, well, here's the thing, and this is a point that I don't know if I made when I was talking about the Insta before. Anyone who's considered getting the Insta360, and if you've watched some of my videos and you think, I want to do that, that looks fantastic. Yes, it is, but here's the thing. When you record, you're recording in 5K, and you're like, oh, that's fantastic, it's going to be even better than 4K. No, it's not, because it's 5K, but that's the whole of the 360. So when you take your whatever clip it is you want, whatever direction it is that you want to use, and then you can move it about, but no matter where you move it about to, it's only 1080p, right? Because the part that you're using has to crop in from the whole of the 360, 5K, it crops in, so it's only 1080p. So that's why the Insta video, when it's driving along, doesn't look quite as sharp and as clear as the video when I arrive at a location, because when I arrive at a location, I'm filming in 4K, and it is actually 4K, whereas the Insta, it's filming in 5K, but the edited section can only be in 1080p. So, Caroline, I don't know about that. Can you get the full video resolution if you edit the phone? I don't think so, because the whole point of it is it's 5K, but that's over 360, right? So, if I was showing the 360, the what's it called, Tiny Planet, I think it's called, where you actually do see the full thing, that would be 5K or 4K if I put it into a 4K timeline. But when you're taking a section, it can't be 4K or 5K, because you'd have to have the whole thing in there. It's like if you had a 4K picture and you cropped in to there, then the little bit that you used, if you pulled it up to the same size as your screen, it would then only be 1080p or 2K or whatever, depending on how large you enlarged it. So it's the same principle as that. So no, I don't think it's anything to do with the editing app. I know it's nothing to do with the editing app. It's the fact that that's just the way that all of these 360 cameras work. They may record in a very high resolution, 5K. But you'll only get 1080p. But that's only on the 360 editing. It also has a mode where you can use single lens, and that means that you can use this as a standard camera, like a replacement for the Pocket 2, for example, or a replacement for a camera or a phone, and you can click it to single lens and it will only record from the front, and then it will be in 4K. But obviously then you can't manipulate it in post and move the angle around. That's the angle that it's at. To move the angle, you would have to actually physically move the phone. So you can get it in 4K if you want. And I'm going to be trying that out. I haven't tried it out yet, the single lens mode, but I will be trying that out. Okay, so I want to get to my main topic tonight, and I don't want to leave it too late because that's 20 past, and I do need to finish up kind of sharpish tonight, early if I can. So let me have a wee look at some of your comments, right? And thanks for all the twos and the ones. Well, for most of the twos and the few ones. Right. Dogzilla likes the one where I drive more slowly. I'm always driving fairly slowly. It just seems to look very fast. It just looks as if I'm flying along, but I'm not. I never really go above 50 miles per hour anywhere. So anyway, aye. Have you tried a freeform 360 video yet to let your viewers pan around? I don't think you can do a video. I can take a still picture with either my Insta or my Mini 3 Pro Caledonia and post it up, and that would allow viewers to look around. You can't do it with a video. If you could, it'd be fantastic, because I wouldn't change the edit and post. I would just leave it facing forward and let people, if they could do it themselves, I would let them have a look around. But you can't do it; it can't be done yet. I don't think we've reached that level of technology yet. We might do, but I don't think we have yet. Yeah, Nick, there you go. When you zoom in, you lose resolution. When you're zooming in with Insta360, you're basically zooming in from a 360 area to a 12 by 25 by whatever it was, 9 or 25 by whatever it is, or 16 by 9. Aye. Right, Dougie is down at the seals, but none to be seen. Well, you're a bit late, Dougie. I mean, I would imagine that they'll only be there like in the afternoon when the sun's out. That's what I would think. But if you're down at the seals, and if any of you watched my seals video earlier, if you noticed there were actually single seals on single rocks dotted about, but I didn't go and take any footage of them because I felt they were all starting to get a wee bit nervous as it was, and obviously I'm very interested in not alarming any of the wildlife, so that's why I didn't stay down there for too long, because the three, when I initially when Caledonia came in and then stopped, obviously that slightly alarmed the three seals, and I think the youngest one nearly went into the water, so I didn't want to push it much longer there. But if you look at the video again, and as I approach the main rock, you will see dotted about in some of the other rocks there are other seals perched, kind of perched on some of those single rocks. Okay, right. T-Side Drone says, seen Brendan explores with one of these, but he carries it and somehow blanks out the stick. Aye, I've done that. It's called the stitch line. If you hold it out in front of you, if you walk like this, for example, the stick will be invisible because there's a stitch line that goes down the edge that it is invisible. And I did it. If you watch a few videos ago, I go out for a walk and I carry this. I actually got it extended quite a distance as well, because I can extend this out about 1.5 meters. Oh, so I've just turned it on accidentally there. Didn't mean to do that. Let's turn it off. Aye, and that's the whole point about these. It's an invisible selfie stick because of the stitch line. Right. Okay. No, it's not. I'm not sponsored by anybody at all. I don't have any sponsorship deals. Although I am an affiliate now of Kate and Def Concept, and I'll be doing a wee video about the latest tripod they sent me, which is a fantastic tripod. So I am an affiliate of theirs now, and I can offer. That means I can offer you, all of you, a discount. I think it's 15% discount I can offer you now using my little code on the... In fact, if you want to do it, if you're interested in any K and F Concept gear, camera gear, go onto their website, and if you put in the code when you go to buy it, Windswept, That's just the code Windswept. You'll get 15% off of anything you buy. So there you go, a wee plug for them. Right, anyway, on we go. I've got to go on here. Right, quick update for Dave. And Dave, this is probably the last I'll make mention of this, because we all want to move on, including you, I'm sure. Right, Dave says the £200 was paid on Monday and it's all done and dusted now. Incidentally, had 5 newspapers contact me wanting to do a follow-up story. Said no. Okay, Dave, that's fine. Thanks for that update. So let's put that behind us and move onwards and upwards. Right, Scott, I used the Pocket 2 when I was doing the negative altitude test, when I was actually standing doing the narration at the end. When I did the narration at the very end of the video, that was the Pocket 2 I used on that one. Okay, right, so look, that's 25 past. Let me move on to my main topic that I wanted to talk about tonight. Right, I'll just get rid of a couple of these things here. And I'm going to bring something up. Right, now, before I start this topic here, and this has been annoying me for a wee while now, what I'm about to show you and what I'm about to say might seem as if I'm being political. I'm not trying to be political, okay? I just have to use some of these political terms, I suppose, to get my point across, right? But I'm not being political, and whichever way you voted on what I'm about to show you, that's absolutely fine. You are allowed to vote however you like in a free democratic society. And I wouldn't, if you wanted to discuss it with me, I'd discuss your decision for voting the way you did, whichever way you did. But I'm not going to call anyone down for making a free vote. Everyone is in a free society is entitled in a free democratic vote to vote any way like. Right. So I just wanted to get that out of the way so that no one thinks that I'm trying to pick on either one side of the argument or the other, or be in favour of one side of the argument or the other. So, I made a little whiteboard. And I've never made a whiteboard in my life before. So, I spent a few hours today making it, and I couldn't work out to do it. And I drew out what I wanted to say. Right, this is what I wanted to say in the whiteboard, and then I created a whiteboard doing it. Right, so I'm going to switch over. I'll keep my voice going. I'll switch over to the whiteboard and talk about this. Right, but before I do that, let me say why I'm talking about this. Right, I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like I am. I don't know. I'll just say it. I started to get really annoyed when I was watching an episode of Geeks Vanna this week, right? One of the live streams. And I know quite a lot of you watch Sean's show. He's got quite a few now. I think he does a few more lives. The drone show, I think he does. If that's his, I'm not sure. He's doing quite a few live streams now. And I was watching one. I can't always catch them live. I can hardly ever catch them live, but I do tend to try and catch them on catch up, watch them on catch up, because it does come very quickly with new information, and he is well clued up and well versed on the regulations. I find Sean to be slightly annoying because, and Sean, if you ever watch this, I'm sorry, I've nothing against you personally. I just think that you try to convince people to stick to the rules more than I appreciate. Right? You can show me what the rules are, that's fine, but when you try to convince me to stick to the rules, that's when I get a bit annoyed with that. Anyway, I was annoyed at Sean's show because Sean was on talking about the new Air 3 that is imminent. It's being released very, very soon. I think in 2 days' time it may even be released. And I've got a hankering to get it. I think I might even get the Air 3. because of the style of videos that I'm now doing, I think the better camera and the heavier drone would be well suited to the videos that I'm doing, and I don't fly in areas where the restrictions really apply. So I think I'm well suited to it. I can't afford a Mavic 3, but I think this drone is going to be pretty close to the quality of a Mavic 3. Obviously, it won't be quite there, but it'll be certainly a good way towards it at a much, much lower price. So I have a few items that I'm going to sell, like disco lights, amplifiers, mixing desks, a couple of guitars, so that I'll probably get the Air 3. Right, but here's what was annoying me. Sean was talking about it, and it's coming with the C1 mark, okay, which gives it a certain classification in EU, the 27 EU states or countries. And I was getting really annoyed about the whole of the UK and the CAA regulations and the impositions that they put on me and you when all we want to do is fly. 99% of us want to fly a drone in a safe manner that's causing no harm to anyone. You'll always get that 1% of idiots who don't care and will do what they like, and you're going to get that anyway. But anyway, I made a little whiteboard to vent my spleen a little bit, to express my anger. And here it is. Right, so here, let me flick over to right. So here we go. So let me start by saying in 2016, in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, we had a referendum. And the question on the referendum, I'm sure you all remember, was, should the United Kingdom remain a member of the European Union or leave the European Union? And the two options you had was you could tick remain or you could tick leave. Okay, so let's follow the two paths, okay, and see where we go. So if you voted to leave the EU, which has now become known as Brexit, right, and you may have done it because you wanted to say, right, let's make our own rules for the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Sometimes, because, even although we have our own rules, we sometimes follow the rules of the EU for whatever reason. And let's say the other decision was you could have said, we want to remain in the EU. And one of the reasons might have been because you said, well, let's follow the EU rules. Sometimes, because sometimes we want to follow our own rules, okay? So either of those options, this is what you could have voted for, or you could have chosen not to vote at all. Okay, so you've done that. Now, meanwhile, DJI has been busy at work, and they have eventually created the marvellous Air 3, which has been given a C1 marking. Now, what does a C1 marking mean? Well, a C1 marking means... Well, we'll get to that in a minute, okay? Anyway, the EU said, oh, C mark, we will adopt the C mark. We will have some of that, please. Yes, we will have that. But because we left the EU, the United Kingdom said, C mark, not for us. We are sovereign. We will make our own mark. We don't need no stinking marks from the EU. We'll have our own. Okay, so we now have the Air 3S, which is a C mark, a C1 mark. And the EU, all 27 countries in the EU, and I won't go through them all, but I'll mention a few of my favourites. Ireland, of course, right? Germany, Portugal, Spain, France, Croatia, Hungary, Italy, Czechia, Slovakia, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, I think I mentioned them all, Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, and there's Cyprus. hello, way down there. Right, so in Malta. So I think Malta? I'm not quite sure what Malta's doing yet. I don't know. Are they in or are they out? Anyway, okay, so those are the countries of the EU who have, fortunately for them, adopted the C mark. Okay, so they can now fly their DJI Air 3 C mark C1. Where can they fly it? Well, they can fly it. Get down here, let's see. In the A1 category. What is the A1 category? Let's have a look. Well, C1, right? So a C1 marking, which is a drone under 900 grams. Now we don't know the weight of the Air 3 yet, but the Air 2S is 585 grams, and the Mavic 3 is 895. So we can assume that the Air 3 will be under 900, but will be over 500. Okay. You can fly the Air 3 in the A1 category. And we all know the A1 category means, okay, no flight expected over uninvolved people. If it happens, you should minimise it. Just like with your Mini 3 Pro or your Mini 2, no flights over assemblies of people or crowds. Maintain flight altitude below 120 metres above ground level. Okay, you need to register your drone. You don't need any tests like the A2C of C or anything like that. Okay, so if you are fortunate enough to be in one of the 27 EU countries, you can have your, let me flick over to that. You can get your Air 3 when it comes out and fly it as if it was a Mini 3 Pro or a DJI Mini 2. Simple as that. But what about if you're in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, who decided, we'll make our own rules. We don't need your stinking rules. We're sovereign. We'll make our own. Well, you have to fly the Air 3 with a C1 marking in the A3 category. You can fly in the A2 category, but only if you have the A2 certificate of competency. And even then, that's only till 2026. And then your legacy drones revert back to the A3 category. A1, A3. Now you might be thinking, well, what is the A3 category? Here's the A3 category. This is for those of you who do not have your certificate of competence, right? You will be flying that Air 3 in the A3. Do not fly near or over people. Fly at least 150 metres away from everywhere. Everywhere, right? If you want to fly up to 50 metres away from uninvolved people, which is still enough a distance, you have to have your A2 C of C. And that's why I am so annoyed, because here we have the drone. The technology is exactly the same, regardless of whether you are on this side or this side. It's the same drone. It's the same air. Gravity works the same way. The heights above sea level work the same way. Air pressure and air temperatures work the same way. There's the same flight paths for aircraft. It's all exactly the same. Everything is identical, except the rules. So there is no reason other than we're having these rules and we're not having your rules that are now going to affect me in the United Kingdom and really imposing a massive, massive sanction on my flying, purely because some people decided they didn't want to be part of the EU anymore. Okay, so What am I going to do about this? I am going to fly safely. I'm going to carry out a risk assessment before each flight, as I always do, a dynamic risk assessment. And I'm going to assess if there are any risks, how I can alleviate those risks or eliminate those risks or alleviate them to the point where they are no longer a risk. And then I'm going to fly. And I'm going to fly safely. And that's it. And to be honest with you, I don't care anymore what other regulations that are brought out by the CAA, and I don't care anymore about how much Sean from Geeks Vanna tells us about there will be what is it, when the public are asked, the word was in my head earlier, when the public are asked if they want, to be, their opinions are taken on which way the drone regulations should go. Forget what that word is. Sean's always going on about it, and he makes a big deal about it, about how important it is that this will be happening. Public consultation. That's not the word. I forget what it is. Not census. No census, Jay. Somebody tell me the word. The public consultation that is, the CAA come and they listen to they don't, they send out questionnaires and they do online questionnaires about what the people want, and they take all this. It's a public, forget what it is. No, it's not a poll. Aye, forget the word. But Sean, it's a public consultation that Sean and all his mates on his channel say that, yeah, the CAA will have this, and they'll listen to what we have to say, and then they'll put in the regulations based around what we have to say. It's not polling. No, that is not the word. It's not polling. I can't remember the word. It was in my head earlier, but I've got the COVID brain, so it's going. But it's nonsense, right? I believe that decisions are already made, right? No, is it public consultation, Graham? Is that just it? Public consultation? No, there's a word that Sean for Geeks Fan is constantly using. Forget what it is. But anyway, I don't believe that this public consultation is looked at. I don't believe that any of the opinions of either the public or the people who are involved in the drone industry, teaching people the A2COC training courses and things like that, I don't believe that any of their opinions are taken into account, because I believe that the decisions are already made, right? They're already made, and they put it out to public consultation in the hopes that the results that come back align with the decisions that have already been made, and then they can say, look, we've listened to what you've had to say, and these are the rules that we're now imposing, which are in line with what you said at the public consultation, right? If the feedback that comes in does not align with the decision that has already been made, then they go ahead and carry on with this decision anyway, and then they'll throw out things like, yes, well, we had to take in this factor as well, other factors that you don't know about, and looking at the regulations from the EU and how to make sure aircraft flying from the UK to the EU and across EU airspace, blah 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 blah. So this will do. No matter what, the decision's already been made, and they're going to do what they want. So I don't care about public consultations. I don't care about Geeks Vanna telling me about how important they are. They're not important. They don't matter in the slightest, not a jot. Okay? That's just my opinion, right? Sean's got a different opinion, and that's absolutely fine too. But as I said, from now on, I'll be doing a dynamic risk assessment and flying safely in a safe manner. And if that means that I happen to break some regulations while I'm doing that, take me to court. If you catch me, take me to court, okay? And if I'm found guilty in a court of law, I'll take my medicine. I'll pay your fine. I'll do what you like. But I'll still be flying my drone safely and in a manner that I think is sensible. Because, let me show you again. Here is the Air 3 with its C1 marking. It's the exact same technological device, whether you're on this side or whether you're on this side. And just because there has been some arbitrary rules made by some politicians who may not have been voted in legally, that are restricting how you fly your drone, doesn't change the science. And if it's good enough for 27 countries over here, it's good enough for me. I just had to get that off my chest. It's been really, really winding me up and really annoying me. And I hope I didn't offend anyone. And if I did, suck it up. Put on your big boy pants or your big girl panties, right? I might have offended you. At least I didn't draw blood. Okay. And if anyone thinks you're just having a go at Shawnee Geeks Van and blah, 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 hey, he just happened to be the one that I was watching. I was watching his video, watching his channel, and he just happened to be the one that wound me up enough to have a rant about it here and to come on and decide I'm saying something about it. So Graham, thanks for that super chat. Is it super chat? Aye, thanks for the super chat. It should be going in the tank for my next journey, but I might get myself a wee dram mate to calm down. That it really did actually wind me up. Doesn't that wind anyone else up, the fact that there's a drone coming out, a fantastic drone coming out, and purely because, you know, a slightly large, a tiny little number of people more voted to leave the 27 countries that have the A1 category and can fly this drone, like a Mini 3, that we are now going to be really, really hammered and restricted. It doesn't matter whether it's fair or not, it just doesn't make sense. If a scientific device, let's suppose a medicine was invented that cured cancer, and it was available in the 27 countries of the EU, but the government of the United Kingdom said, no, we'll have our own, we'll invent our own, and we are making our own rules, and one of the rules we are making as a sovereign nation is that that's illegal. You can't use it here. That's pretty much what they're doing with drones, right? Here's a drone that's perfectly safe. It's been categorised to fly in the A1 class in the 27 countries of the EU, but the United Kingdom are like, oh, no. We'll have our own rules, thank you very much. We're not allowing it. Don't allow it then. I'm doing it, okay? I'll fly my drone how I like. So take your CAA regulations, take your categories and your classes and ram them, because I don't care. I'll be flying how I want to fly because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of your stupid United Kingdom rules and regulations that don't make scientific sense. Okay, that's about that. Right, let me have a look and see how many subscribers I lost. Oh, dear God. Right, and then I'll need to finish up because that's 10 to. I've been at this nearly an hour. Right, so there you go. Graham said, irrespective of whether you're happy leaving or staying in the EU, can't understand why the CAA didn't adopt C1 rules in the absence of any proposals themselves. The two sort of, you're exactly right. And it's now, I think we're now in a case where it's just stubbornness. It's the ministers of this government in this country who are now saying, oh, no, the people voted to leave the EU, so we will now make our own rules. And they could say, like, okay, we're not going to adopt and we're not going to follow the rules of the EU, but we'll make a rule exactly the same as that one. Yeah, we'll have that. They could have done it, but it's just like, no, it's this whole, no, we're a sovereign nation, we'll make our own rules. No, don't be stupid. You wouldn't impose that on well, maybe you would impose it on a new cure for cancer, but can you imagine how many people do you think would say, all right, so there's a cure for cancer that you can get in the 27 countries of the EU, but the UK government has made it illegal here? I'm either going to get it or I'm just going to go to one of the EU nations and have it there. That's what would happen. It's ridiculous. So anyway, you know my opinion on it, and hopefully I can sell some gear and get my get my Air free. Right, Peter's asking, are you now more happy having left the EU with all the extra rules and unemployment? I'm not going to get political, Peter. I did say that at the beginning. This is not a political debate I'm having here. It's not a political rant. I had to use the Brexit because that's where the split happened, that defined in the end whether we could use the C1 category on the Air 3, the DJI Air 3. So I'm not getting political about it. If you voted to leave the EU, that was your absolute right to vote that way. If you voted to remain in the EU, that was your absolute right to do that too. And I have no... I know which way I voted, and I would have preferred that everyone voted my way, but they didn't, and that's... But I live in a democracy, okay? And people vote in a democracy, and the government have to abide by a democratic vote. You know, it's the way it is, whether it's right or wrong. Okay. Graham, you always make great points, but I keep clicking on you because you make the great points. I have to stop clicking on you so much. Stop making so good points, okay? Make rubbish points and I won't click on you. The city are looking to drive our hobby flyers. More injuries at golf tournaments than Bruce ever. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Malta is in the EU. Right, okay, fair enough. Didn't know that, but good for Malta. Right. Jay has put a Windswept Robert at his bureaucratic red tape just there to be awkward and or to make money. I just did my A2 and my GVC. I didn't need to, but I wanted to have everything just in case. Yeah. So what you've done there, Jay, is you have allowed yourself to fly the A3 in the Air 3 in the A2 category up until 2026, but then you'll revert to the A3 category because your drone will become a legacy drone. Okay, so it may have got you an extra couple of years, but even in the A2 category, you can only fly up to 50 metres. Still have to stay a separation of 50 metres away from people. Now, there are people everywhere, so it's still not good. It's still not good. Okay. I still haven't got that word yet. It wasn't a census. It wasn't a poll. It wasn't an opinion. I don't think it was consultations. I think it's a public... It's another word. I'll watch Geeks Van and... there it is. There's the word there. And then I'll make a comment in the community section. Here's the word I was looking for. But it's none of those words. I just can't remember. Okay. Right, 10-2. Let's see if there are any other wee things. A Parkin, what are we chatting about? We're not really chatting about NNA. I'm just having a rant, a good old rant, right, about the fact that I legally am restricted from Oh, that's the other thing. It's the other thing about these, they've got voice control. Stop recording. Right, I must have uttered the phrase. I'm not going to say it again, but to make it start recording. And it did. So they're voice activated. These 360s are voice activated too. There's quite a lot of activation commands you can set up for it to. I don't want to say any of them because it will just do it. But they're quite good. We're not. I'm just having a rant, so don't worry about it. All right. Right, Jay says, I saw two of your vids today that really made me laugh. PC and DJ auditors. PJ and DJ, who I used to watch, but it got boring and nasty, and now they have disappeared off YouTube. Anyone know? Well, DJ is currently in Turkey on holiday. He's due back 3 weeks. He's been away for, so he's due back any time. PJ is having mental health problems. Some of the other auditors, the more well-known ones that you may not know about it, 2 of them are currently in jail. They've been jailed. And 3 of the other ones have got bail conditions where they're not allowed to come together and they're not allowed to film in public for a short period of time. So the auditors at the moment are being hammered. And there's a new bill going through the House of Lords at the moment that is going to pretty much make their activities illegal. I won't go into it too much just now because it hasn't passed through the Lords. It's still being read, but I will bring that story as it starts to go through the Lords and it starts to become a law, and that'll pretty much kill off the auditors. Okay. I don't tap the... Oh, that's a thing for me. What's this? Right. I don't know how to do it. It says you tap the super chat. What is it? I don't know what it is. Let me flick over here to see if I can see what it is. No, don't know what it says. It's supposed to be a love heart or something that I can click. I don't know. I don't know where it is. Anyway. Right. No, it's a job I wouldn't relish. I'd like the money. They get paid a good wage and their expenses are fantastic. But no, the stress of being a PM, I couldn't do it. Or an MP. PM, not an MP or a PM. Right, so there we go. 5 minutes ago. Let me have a few. Okay, I'll show that. Let me have a wee look. Is DJI finished in the UK? No, I don't think they are. I think that people will still get the Air 3. I mean, if I can gather the cash for it, I'll be getting it. And I think a lot of people will get it. But you are going to be legally restricted where you can fly, very restricted where you can fly. But you're no more restricted than you would be with the Mavic 3, and a lot of people in the UK, I believe, bought the Mavic 3 too. So at the price point it's coming in and the capabilities that it looks like it's going to be able to do, I think it'll be a big seller. And I think most people will be like me. Everyone's so annoyed at the stupidity of the regulations and the rules that are so far behind the technology that they're not even aligned with technology anymore, and there's no valid reason that anyone can come up with to make these reasons make us stick to these rules and regulations. That's how I feel about it anyway, and I expect there's quite a lot of people feel it that way about it too, and so you might see quite a good number of sales of the Air 3. So I don't think they are finished, right? All right. Oh, somebody's obviously been talking about my hat there, right? Okay. I do like this hat. It is a madness hat. It can be a madness hat. The baggy trousers type hat can be, but I like a pork pie, you know that. I got this Gem V sent me this, and I do like a pork pie hat, as you know. Right. So there's Angel. Hi, you've come in very, very late here, but hello. Oh, look at my fingers, they're all green. That's because I've got a green screen going on behind me. Hi, how you doing? You love the hat? Yeah, this I do. It goes well with the braces, doesn't it? Right, I'm getting a bit confused there. Right, okay. Dogzilla Monster says, to make fun of how dangerous DJI drones are, I'm naming Vladimir. Actually, I've been watching YouTube videos. There's a guy, big, strong Russian man, called Vladimir, who dresses up as Barbie. And he does it very, very well. And it's Omegle, I think, he goes on, and he speaks in the high-pitched voice, and then he'll break into the, "Hi, Vladimir, big, strong Russian man." And the expressions on some of their faces are fantastic. Right, okay, one last question before I get myself out of here, right? And Jay Richards says, is there any way that DJI, you mean DJI, can simply shut down our comms with the satellites and ground our drones? Lots of people won't like remote ID when it gets rolled out. I don't know. I don't know what the scientists can do, and I don't know what MI5 can do, and I don't know what MI6 can do in other countries. So who knows? If anything's possible, I suppose. The problem is that we're flying with 21st century, getting close to 22nd century drones. That's the level of technology we have, but we're still having to stick by 20th century rules, I believe. That, for me, just doesn't work. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I didn't get finished real early, a couple of minutes early at the very most, so I'm going to leave it there. Thanks everyone for letting me rant to you, and I hope there's a lot of you agree with me. So once this live turns into a video, please leave a comment, let me know how you feel about it. If you think I'm wrong in saying that I'm done with the rules, done with the regulations, had enough. I am a grown, sensible, educated, responsible man who can make my own decisions and do my own dynamic risk assessments and decide if the flight I'm about to do is safe or not. If you think I'm wrong there, let me know in the comments. If you agree with me and you're also going to do that, you might not want to admit it on a public forum, although here, what am I doing right now? But let me know how you feel about it anyway. I'd be interested. I don't care which way you voted. Don't start giving me comments about, I voted to leave the EU because blah, 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 unvoted blah, blah, blah. They don't get voted in. Or I voted out to stay in because blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care, right? And I'm sorry, I just don't care. We're past it. We're out, and that's that. We have to deal with it. And this is the way I'm dealing with it. So let me know how you're going to be dealing with this. Because who knows, they may decide to impose an A3 category regulation on your Mini 3 Pro or your Min 2. They might. What are you going to do then? Are you going to then say, oh, no, I have to fly in the A3 category? Or are you going to say, no, enough's enough? There has to come a point for every person where they say, right, there's my line. And you've crossed the line now, that's it. You know, everyone has to have a point. We've now reached mine, and that's it for me. Okay, so thanks very much. Right, there we go. 10 seconds left. I didn't get finished early tonight at all. Leave me a thumbs up if you haven't done. Thanks for those who gave me a super chat. Thanks for the support. I'll see you again next Sunday. Cheerio with you.